All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another session of Leadership Ready Room Chats. I am co founder of Leadership Ready Room, Brandon Jenkins, and I'm here with my co founder, Tom Brother Murray. And it's good to be doing another LinkedIn Live. Thank you to those who showed up today to support and just find out what this is all about. Appreciate you. So, the last two chats, Tom and I have been demonstrating what it means when you are in a ready room, in the leadership ready room, and you show up each week and someone on your team is in the growth seat. And when you're in the growth seat, you're essentially coming to the growth seat with a challenge or whatever project you're working on, whatever goal you're working on, whatever leadership opportunity you have, whatever it may be, and you're bringing that to the group, and then the other people in your ready room have learned and are practicing the coaching, peer coaching skills to help you think through this problem and uncover or opportunity and uncover the approach that you need to take for yourself versus telling you what you need to do, telling you what you should do based on their perspectives versus what you uncovering what you want to do based on you. And so we're going to kind of continue now and demonstrate what that looks like on a continuing basis. And so I'm going to go back to Tom and I'm going to say, hey, Tom, last time you were in the growth seat, you were talking a little bit about hiring for the business and kind of where you were with that. And at the end of that growth seat session, you came up with kind of your most important next step, like what you were going to try next on that journey. So I guess we'll start nice and simple right there with what was your most important next step? Did you accomplish it? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. So as we wrapped up that growth seat, you had challenged me to validate the need that I could, in fact, free up time by hiring an executive assistant. And the most important next step was for me to go spend time in my calendar and try to identify those actions that I could delegate or pass off to a new hire. And I did that. I did, in fact, validate that I can free up uh, at least an hour a day, if not more, of my time by shedding some of those tasks. And that gave me the motivation and the confidence to go forward and begin interviewing candidates, which I did last week. And I'll have a second round of interviews late this week and get to a decision and get somebody hired. So that's I did it. I
Yeah,
met my mins.
awesome. You met your men's most important next step, which, by the way, we borrowed that term from the Four Disciplines of Execution. It's a great book and something that, if you're in Leadership Ready Room, we will reference. Um, cool. So
Well,
it sounds, yeah, go ahead, Tom. Sorry. It sounds like you had something
I,
else.
I was gonna no, I was just gonna say that prior to that discussion, I had been struggling with the confidence I needed to move forward. So that time was certainly well spent, and I appreciate you helping me work through it.
Yeah. Well, let's go there a little bit. So you did it. You accomplished your min. So what was that experience like for you as you went through those mins in the last couple of weeks?
I think our discussion was able to help me transition from this philosophical uh, discussion or thought I was having about a need and turn it into something practical and actionable, which I did. And then knowing that I've had this conversation with you, someone who was challenging me to, turn this problem, this opportunity around in different ways. And, our time together gave me that confidence that I needed. And so, yeah, I feel good. I'm not torn at all. I'm going into this hiring process knowing that it's the right thing and knowing that I will see benefits and which, if you recall, my concern was being able to free up time to do more client engagement and lead conversion, which I feel is a necessary next step to continue to grow my business on the trajectory I'd like.
Yeah. So you said you've had some interviews, you got some this week. I mean, like, where are you right now? And what are the next things that you think you need to do?
Yeah, so I've narrowed down I had a very good response to my job posting and was able to narrow down the candidate pool to 5 folks who I interviewed. I further narrowed it down to 2, and each of those will get a second interview this week. And then from there, I will make a decision by end of day Friday is my goal, and then begin the hiring process thereafter. The actual, um, making of an offer, an employment offer, and with the goal of having someone in this new role by May 15th, by mid-May.
Mm. Where did that date come from?
I've got a couple, great question. I've got a couple of logistical things going on in my business, and I need to solve those. And I've got a separate timeline for that, which takes me to mid-May, and that's a necessary prerequisite to bring this person in.
Mm. What kind of prerequisite? You mean prerequisite? What does that mean in relation to this new hire?
Yeah, sorry, I've got to solve a space issue. I need more physical space as the team grows.
Mm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, right on. So, what do you
Yeah, and that'll
foresee as?
also
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
give me the time to work through, uh, getting this person's paperwork done, right? Sorry, I cut you off as well.
No, it's all good. Sounds like you're just saying that also gives you a little bit of runway to actually onboard this new person and be able to get the paperwork ready and then get them in the seat ready to go. Yeah,
Yes.
fantastic, man. So, like, how's it feel? Like, what are you feeling now that you're a little bit closer to getting this hire?
Um, a mix of relief and I think there's a little anxiety too. Relief that I'm moving forward in the direction that I know I need to go, and a little anxiety that comes with increasing, increasing the business's overhead. Um, and growth is uncomfortable at times. It's new, it's different. I'm pushing myself and my team um, to grow, to be able to grow, to be able to grow more quickly. And so there's little bits of self-doubt that always creep in for me around times like this. And so yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Well, since you're in the growth seat again today, in light of the progress you've made and where you're at right now, what are you feeling would be most helpful for you to get out of this session today?
I think um, as I it goes probably to my bigger discussion of growing the business. And so as I think about that growth um, that I would like to see, the thing that I would probably appreciate the most is a discussion of, leading a small team and the, some days I worry that I ask my team to move in too many different directions, right? We're small and we need to be agile as a result, right? I don't have enough specialists. I don't have a big enough team to have specialists for every little thing. And so I worry at times that I'm throwing too many different things at my team, asking them to pivot to and from one thing to another, or adding a task or a project that maybe isn't completely in line with their job description. And so I think about that, and um, just always something that's on my mind.
Mm. Like what could happen with that team that makes you worry?
Well, I worry that we will either be less effective because of pivoting from one thing to another, or and more importantly, I worry that I could potentially drive them away, and that's probably from a place of insecurity more than anything, right? Because I've not gotten any indications from the team that that's the case.
Yeah. So
Um,
where do you think that insecurity is coming from then?
Man, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's relatively new, probably in the last 4 months that I've started thinking that, which coincides with some growth within our property management division, and that definitely has pulled a lot of focus from some of the other day-to-day tasks. So it might have started with that, and property management is something that I think we do well, but I'm quickly seeing that we're going to need to hire there next. So I think it probably is most closely related to that, Brendan.
Mm. Yeah. And so how does that relate to, some of your thoughts on what it takes to lead a small team? What are some of those?
I mean, I think some of the keys to success, or things that I think are the keys to success for me and my team, um, open and honest communication, where where my team members feel comfortable uh, telling me I'm wrong, telling one another they're wrong, or maybe there's a better way to attack a problem, right? Being open to receiving critical feedback, I think, is something we do well. And I appreciate anytime the team says, "Hey, we can change this process," right? So when they take the initiative, or when they challenge my own thoughts, or one another's thoughts, um, I think that speaks to a good culture, and I think that's a super important trait. I think the other is a willingness to share the workload, right? Which is basically another way of saying that the same issue I've identified. We're small. There are tasks that have to get done, and maybe they don't fit neatly in one person's job description. I do think does a good job of supporting one another, and simply identifying places that we can step in and help one another out. And so part of that's culture, part of that's adaptability, flexibility, to use some of our old naval aviation terminology. Um, when I see that happen, I feel better, right? When I see the team just pitch in. Um, so yeah, a little bit of cross-loading with tasks, or support. I don't have a technical term for it. But I do think that's super important in a small business as well.
Yeah. What role does this good communication on a small team, what role does that play when it comes to knowing if you're overtasking or moving too fast for them? Some of the other things you've brought up.
Man, I think the communication, I think I think as the business leader, I need to fight for feedback, right? Like every organization, we've got multiple communication paths, different apps we use. Most of us are in person, at least part of the time every day. And so I think some of the nonverbal communication and just providing space, time and space for the team to communicate is important. Um, I think sometimes the things that aren't said are probably the ones that speak the loudest. So we do that, as you say that, I do think we've got some mechanisms in place. We've got a series of regular meetings that occur weekly, and there's two in particular that have opportunities for team members to honestly share, what's going on, what they need help with. And um, so I think just honoring those meetings and sticking to them, giving folks an opportunity to communicate is, that's important as well.
Yeah. Like what, if anything, needs to change in those meetings in order to ensure that you're making this space?
I mean, I think for the business and for all of us, really, um, one of the things I could do is plant the seed for future hires, right? To acknowledge that to my team that we will continue to grow. So maybe I'll go back to the team and ask for inputs. Hey, where do you think the next hire will be? Uh, and maybe that'll give the team an opportunity to express whether or not they think they're in a position that they need that help sooner or later.
Yeah. I mean, is that something that you feel confident would definitely help you and move the needle?
Yeah, I think so. And if it doesn't, um, I can try something else. So yeah, I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah. Right on, man.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else? Like, what else do you need from today's session to feel good about it?
I think for now I'm in a good spot. I think, next, what do we know? Late April next week, I'll I'll start planting the seed with my team and see what kind of feedback I can get.
Yeah. When's that? When's the first meeting you'll have a chance to do
The
that?
next one would be next Monday. So
Okay.
the 28th, I think that would be
Okay. Right on.
Monday, April 28th. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anything you need
Well,
from
that'll be my
me?
men's then.
Yeah. Anything you
No,
need
I
from
don't think
me for
so.
that?
No, I don't think so. I'll check in with you next week and let you know how it went.
Okay. Perfect, man. So, yeah. So, breaking a little bit from character now, Tom. What was it like to be in the growth seat again? And where would you like to take us for the remainder of this LinkedIn Live?
Brandon, I'm reminded every time I get a chance to chat, and whether we call it the growth seat or whether it's just you and me, working through a problem, I am reminded of how important it is for me and my own business and my, the growth journey I'm on with my business. Um, I think I find that very often I, my time, my energy is spent simply executing, in the day to day, going heads down, working through tasks, and it's good work. It does move the needle, but I think it's moving the needle on a micro scale. And I think these discussions, this opportunity to step back and be intentional about strategic um, movement, strategic, the getting to the macro level, um, for me is the most important part of these communications, these chats, and my time in the growth seat, because I need that. I just don't prioritize it day to day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what comes to mind for me. And it's with the group that you and I have been a part of now for 5.5 years, those those weekly calls for me uh, are just so powerful. And we've said it before. I wouldn't have achieved half the growth I have in this last 5+ years were it not for you, uh, and our teammates. So, yeah, powerful stuff.
Yeah, something you just said, it just reminds me of, even so every week when we're with our crew, right, with our team, um, even if I don't have anything major that I'm working through, inevitably, as we are going around the room and everyone is getting a chance to talk about their highs and lows and what's going on for them, and then when someone has a challenge and they're in the growth seat, inevitably I hear something and I can connect it to a challenge that I'm facing or an opportunity that I have. And while I might not want to do the exact same thing that that person's doing, I can take the principles behind that and I can connect it to my situation, my unique circumstances. And because we're in this format where, the person wants us all to kind of chime in with what are we noticing, right? Like, what questions do we have? Kind of the collective curiosity of the group kicking in and helping them, not only that person who has the challenge or the opportunity or whatever you're calling it, help them kind of figure out what they need to do. Also, I'm asking questions and learning as I'm asking you questions. That's the power of kind of the format we have, right? That's the power of a curious coaching mindset, to when you're in the room with a bunch of folks, who are
That,
growth minded. Yeah, go ahead.
that's exactly what I was going to say. It's about being in the right room, in the right space. And, um, man, it's so powerful. Some days I almost feel like it's a cheat code, right? To listen to some of our other teammates talk about, oh, I'm going to hire for this. I'm going to restructure in this way. And then the rest of that day, I'm just spinning with possibilities and opportunities. And man, why didn't I think about that? All right, how soon can I implement it in my own business? Um, oh, it does. It feels like a cheat code because of I feel like I can level up faster just by being in that room. And I'm thankful for it every day.
Yeah, yeah, me too, man. To another thing you said, you just spending the whole day feeling like, man. And let me pause real quick. Anyone who's here with us right now, if you have a question, please just put it in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Um, but Tom, you said something too, was, man, your head's spinning. You're like, man, there's all these things that I could apply or that I could do. How can I get started with that in my own business? And I feel that way too. And then I have to kind of like, I step back, and I mentioned it earlier. A lot of the stuff, either maybe I'm not ready for it, or it doesn't quite align the way that that person is doing it, works for them because of where they're at in their business and who they are, their blueprint, their team in place, where they live, all the circumstances that are different about each one of us. And then I look at it and say, oh, you know what? That's not right for me to implement it in that way right now. But there's something about it. There's a principle there that I can think about and reflect on, and not just reflect, but look and see what I could do that feels right, feels good for my circumstances, what I could do to implement and kind of keep moving in the direction that I want to move. I think that's important too. Like, we're not trying to outdo each other. We're not trying to be better than each other, right? We know we're all in our own circumstances and on our own journey. We just want each other to grow, develop, achieve what we want to achieve, personally defined. Like how Tom is defining success for himself, his family, his relationships, his business, then that's what we want Tom to do. How Jenks is defining success for himself, his family, his business, that's how the group wants me to do, right? To figure out what I need to do to be successful in my own terms. So I don't know. Did that bring up anything else for you, Tom?
Unfortunately, the last 30 seconds or so or minute, I couldn't hear you. I think it's an issue on my end.
Oh, right on, right on. It's just the idea of like personal success, defining success for yourself, and like when you're in leadership ready room, we're not we and the people in your ready room aren't there to define success for you. You don't need that. No one in our group needs somebody else to define what success means for us, right? We want to help each other grow and be successful, whatever that means for the individual and how they have defined it, defined those success standards. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. Man, I found myself thinking about that yesterday. Uh, spent some time with some folks, that are business owners and current and former business owners. And I caught myself. I found myself.
Looks like Tom is having some technical difficulties, which actually we're starting to welcome that each week. Um, it wouldn't be a leadership ready room chats if one of us didn't have some type of technical difficulty. And again, I just bring it back to who in a leadership position doesn't face that, right? On some level every day. You expect things to go one way and then something out of your control happens. And you got to know how to roll with it, right? You're not just going to everything's not going to be exactly how you planned it every time. External factors get a vote for sure. So hopefully Tom can get back in here and join us again. But we'll give him a couple seconds here. All right. I think the technical difficulties may be preventing Tom from coming back online. Oh, there's Tom. Tom, welcome back.
Hey, I don't know if those comments came through, but go ahead and take us home, Brandon.
Yeah. Um, I was just good. Well, I talked a little bit about how what leader doesn't face on almost a daily basis. They have a plan, they have a vision, and then external factors get a vote, and things don't really happen the way they thought they would. And it wouldn't be a leadership ready room chats if that didn't happen to us at least once each time. And that's good. I think we just model then how to roll with the punches and keep going. So, but we are at the end of our time here, and so I just want to thank everybody who did join us today. Your support means a ton to us. If Leadership Ready Room is sounds interesting to you, please reach out to either Tom or myself. Go to leadershiprr.com, check out the page. We'd love to continue the conversation with you. We're going to keep doing these chats on a weekly basis, I believe. And so you'll have opportunities to interact with us there. Come each time, bring your questions, and we'll see you next time on Leadership Ready Room Chats. Thanks again.